Sorry to be talking to you laying down, but I am extremely exhausted. Just wanted to give you an update on my living situation. Kind of thought I had things a little bit figured out. My mom had bought a place in East Tennessee, and because she kind of knows what's coming, it had pretty good resources on the land, two springs, pristine water, haven't supposedly ever run dry since the late 1800s. Some other good features about the land. I used to buy some time until they really start completing the camps and putting people in. So I used what money I had left, had paid to break the lease on the apartment that I was in on the last video that I did. And I sold my 2019 Jeep Compass Latitude to like this Carvana place. Did okay there. Ended up getting the same price I paid for it in 2019, and bought an old, paid off, high mileage, like 2005 Honda CRV, hoping just to get maybe 2 years worth of use out of it before they require the coming digital /health /banking card in order to even renew your driver's license, renew your tags. All that stuff is coming. So then got a U-Haul, moved half of all my stuff, which was in 3 storage units, got it moved up there. Half of it had to go into a storage unit up there till I was done organizing and making room on the property, maybe putting another shed on it to stay in, maybe ultimately try to do an online job out of. And so that was really exhausting because, a lot of us don't have energy anymore to do anything because it's everything that's happened with the ME and everything that's happening in the world is just seriously killing me. But so 2 weeks ago, I left Tennessee. I was driving back to Florida to get the remaining U-Haul with all my stuff out of the other half of the remaining storage unit I had in Florida. Didn't even get out of the state of Tennessee. And I get a call from my mother. She's too cold. It's too isolating out there. She's putting the property up for sale. She's only had it for 3 months. And I had told her before I moved all my stuff up there with the money I had left, this is going to be it. You can't move anymore. You can't change your mind. We're going to have to make it work, come what may, because I'm not going to have any money left to move my stuff. So on the off chance you do decide to sell, you're going to have to pay for my U-Haul back to putting it wherever I'm going to end up. So I really thought she understood, and that was the agreement. And then before I'm even out of the state going to get my second load, she says she's not doing it. Devastated is not even a close descriptor. So then I was driving to Florida trying to figure out, okay, what am I going to do now? I have a brother who lives a few hours away from where she bought property, and it's not ideal because it's in a city and you're not going to want to be in any city. But I asked him, okay, well maybe, because I didn't know what to do at that point, maybe see if I can put one of those real big shed cabins in his backyard, store my stuff in 2/3 of it, put a wall up, and try to set up my desk and my resources to get an online job from there. So he said that was okay. I called the county, did research the zoning codes, see how many feet you had to be away from property lines and whatever. So then he wasn't really sure if he was going to have room, but at a minimum, I could, if I wanted to, he was going to close in his double car garage, and my mom was going there to then stay with him, which I can't believe, but it's like a huge double car garage. His house is like an upstairs living, downstairs. So he rents out the downstairs, he rents a room out upstairs, and now he's going to close in the double car garage. And my mom doesn't have anything, so I was going to store my stuff in there. And at least at a minimum, I would have been able to close down the one storage unit that I had up there, which would have helped a lot financially, because I have nothing now. So when I find out she's putting up for sale, well, then of course, if she's not even going to be there, somebody's going to break in, steal stuff. That's just the way it is. So I needed to, I was back in Florida maybe 3 days and had to drive back up there in order to get a in-city daily rate U-Haul to then go take everything out of my mom's house and put it into the storage unit that I have up there, and then take her and a few of her, belongings, because she doesn't really have anything, over to my brother's. And, I didn't even know, as I was driving up there, whether I was going to be able to get, an intrastate U-Haul and move everything from the storage into a shed or the garage. And then I find out there's really not even enough room in the garage. My mother had made a statement, she didn't think there'd be room. And then when my brother was asking, he's like, well, what all do you got? And I'm like, well, I got my big sectional sofa pieces. He's like, oh, yeah, jumped right in. Yeah, there's plenty of room for that. I'm like, yeah, I know. I'm like, but then I got my desk. I got those big bookcases. And I didn't even get to the rest of the big stuff. And he's like, oh, yeah, those bookcases are pretty big. I don't know. And I'm thinking, well, if he's kind of a little worried there's no way I'm going to move all the stuff that's in the storage unit into his garage. And then I know my mom, she can't stand disorganization and clutter, at any time. She would start complaining about, you need to get rid of all this stuff. And then I'd have to drive on a dime again to go figure out what to do with it then. So I'm like, okay, forget this. I am so done with this. I'm not going to go through this again. So decided to get a U-Haul, clean everything out of her house, put it into storage, take her. And it was like, I had just driven back to Florida. Now and then just drive back up and then move all this stuff. And it was like 40-degree rain and mud, just the most miserable environment you can imagine. And I was trying to beat the deadline, October 31st, when I thought I could put it in his garage or in a separate shed so that I could close that unit down and not have to pay for another month. So then I'm on the road again, can't even put the stuff in the garage, not really room for it. And not that I'm mad at my mom, but she really knew that was the last of my money, and that was the last choice, plan, thing I was going to try to do until, they take me to a camp or God takes me out or whatever. That's all I had. She could have just went for the winter if she was so cold and so lonely, just go to my brother's for the winter. I'll stay there. I don't care. I have no life here. I don't want to be here. So I don't really care anymore if I see people or not. But she didn't want to have that. Nope, gotta sell. So got everything into the storage, dropped her off. My back was so out from carrying such heavy stuff down like really narrow wooden plank stairs in just 40-degree rain, so cold. She had unplugged the refrigerator before I even got there. So I didn't have food or a hot shower until I got to my brother's house. I was wet, cold, sweaty, miserable. But then I left my brother's house the next day, drove back to Florida again. So within, Thursday to Sunday, made another trip up there, did all that, and came back. I'm really trying to figure out how I'm going to do anything. Like, I know a lot of you are experiencing what I am, first, all the energy that was expended on the Mandela effect and trying to figure all that out, and just how much energy we wasted on family members and friends and people. I mean, I am so exhausted. I can barely do anything. I'm lucky to get out of bed twice a day because I'm just so exhausted. And so now that I'm completely, totally out of money, and, and it's weird too because, I know I left my profession for the right reason, because no matter what, I'm not going to take 30 shekels and go kill someone. I'm not going to do anything wrong. I want to do right. And it's not even like it's my choice. It's like all that stuff that happened to me with the ME and I got cleansed and all that. It's not even a hard choice, just it's wrong. Don't do it. But I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to do now, because now I still have my stuff in 2 storage units, half up there, half here, and everybody's looking for storage, so the rates keep going up. And I can't even try to sell any of it because it's all packed in there. So unless I drag it out, I don't know. It's just a mess. Everything is just a mess. I'm still watching what's going on in the world, and I'm just devastated over what's coming with the kids and the vaccines. And I'm just still really frustrated that people really are not understanding what is truly going on. It just takes too much energy. And, really all I want, I just want to get a big shed that I can put up insulation in, run some wires, put one light, a couple outlets, and even when I was at my brother's before I left, I was looking at any possible, small pieces of unrestricted, owner financing land that I could put it on and just get my stuff in, and just, I don't know. I'm just really getting tired of everything. And there's been so much that I want to say, and there's a lot to say. And both to the ME people who still haven't figured out what all of this is about, the answers are absolutely there. Everything. And, I want to say a whole bunch that I found to them. There's a lot of people that have written that I've not even had the energy to respond to. So please don't take it personal, because it doesn't mean, I don't want to help and tell you things, or that I'm disagreeing with you, or that I can't even have a debate, because I'm just so tired. And then there's a lot, that this has to apply to other people that are going to start experiencing things. I mean, I have so much to say. And at every step, I've just encountered such opposition like you can't imagine. Even when I was driving up there and back both times, I was going to try to video some things and just at least get my thoughts out. But about 8 months ago, I don't even know now, something happened with my phone, and I can't transfer any data from my phone to my laptop anymore. So the last couple videos I made, they were using my friend's GoPro camera because my phone wouldn't do it. Talked to T-Mobile support. They transferred me to Samsung support, and they're like, nope, got to do a factory reset. I'm like, yeah, I actually did that a month ago and it didn't fix the problem. They're like, yeah, then somehow you got some virus that disabled that so that you can't transfer data. Yeah, what a surprise. Even this time when I went up, I took the GoPro camera, and that wouldn't even work. And then yesterday, day after I get back here, I'm like, I want to start, posting the videos that I want to post, because the stuff that I know now and can show you is just so important, but I know how it needs to be presented, because, if you don't present it in a way, I know a lot of you are just like I am, and if it wouldn't be presented in a certain way, I wouldn't believe it either. And, I need, show me scriptural references and things like that. So I know what needs to be done, and I know I'm supposed to be telling everybody, sharing it, and at least, letting you consider everything, but I just can't. So yesterday morning, I was going to just give it, a couple hour try. Thought, well, maybe if I can just do a little bit at a time. And then, all this, limited storage and, running out of storage. I had uninstalled so many apps. I had, deleted so many photos, lost them because I couldn't even transfer them over to my laptop because, that's been disabled for months now. It seemed like, there is something still eating all the space. And then all of a sudden my screen started going a little dark. I'm like, damn it, I got to go get this addressed right now. So I had to run to T-Mobile immediately, ask if there was any software they had that could, transfer my photos, documents, videos, texts, voicemails before this thing just really blows up and dies. I was there for 5 hours. They were able to help me. I did have to get a new phone, and that's the only way that I'm talking to you now. But again, that was like on half borrowed money to even be able to get a new phone. So it's just really, really just way too overwhelming. And then the car that I bought, it's in really good shape, but something happened after I bought a spare key, and I thought they messed up the programming, and then I thought it was like a module sensor in the steering column. Turned out to be a starter, but I could not believe how much I got charged for a starter. Like, I'm just so opposed. It's not even funny. And I know you guys are going to think, well, yeah, stuff happens to everybody and that's just whatever. And I don't even feel like going into all the like supernatural opposition stuff, but I know a lot of you know exactly what I'm talking about, and it's just really starting to wear me down. And then it's almost frustrating when I, watch all these videos that we're all watching on, BitChute, iConnectFX, Brighteon, and it just seems like story after story after story, especially regarding the vaccines. There's the graphene oxide, there's this, there's that. I think the latest one is like, Hydra organisms in the vaccine. And I don't understand at all why people aren't thinking about what they're watching a little better than they are. Hydra are living organisms that are found in freshwater ponds that are meat eaters, eat other insects and, brine shrimpy things, and there are no Hydra in the vaccines. The vaccines come stored at sub-freezing temperatures that would kill anything living, first of all. Second of all, the size of those organisms, they would appear in the vaccines as particulate matter. You would be able to see them. I saw the vaccines come in myself. They're absolutely crystal clear. There are no particulate matter in the vaccines. So that's not what's in the vaccines. Now, I'm against them, and I think it's part of the mark. Absolutely, positively it is, but there's not Hydra in them. And there aren't some of these other things, which has made me question a lot of these people that were watching, some of these doctors that are out there, I forget what are Carrie Magi or whatever. Like, she's a physician. These can't be in shipped sub-frozen vaccine with, wrong pH, wrong salinity, no food supply. You can't freeze them and bring them back to life. So what the hell is going on? There are so many channels and so many, speakers and physicians now that I know they're all part of the wrong, deception, misleading, everybody. I'm sure, the AI algorithms are having a ball and they're tracking, how many people are following and commenting on every story that they come out with. Just everything, everything, everything. Deception is everywhere. It's on the mainstream media, obviously, and, all the physicians that are on, YouTube, they're saying this protocol, big pushes for things like vitamin D and all this. And, I used to wonder the last probably 5 or 6 years I was at the pharmacies, it seems like everybody's being prescribed vitamin D now. And okay, well, yeah, I guess they're just, testing people's blood levels more and whatever. But the strangest thing happened, and this is kind of like another Mandela thing, just totally blew my mind. I forget under what context, but some boy, some kid had commented about vitamin D, something to do with some treatment, to kill people or whatever. And, vitamin D, A, D, E, and K, those are fat-soluble vitamins. What I learned in pharmacy school is the reason why you can take plenty of water-soluble vitamins, whatever your body doesn't need, it's going to flush them right out. But fat-soluble vitamins, you take too many, you're going to be doing damage to your liver. That's what I learned. That's what I knew. So this kid is kind of arguing with me about it, being a poison and being in, blood thinners now and all this. And I'm like, no, it's not. Coumadin was, warfarin, that was a rat killer. And that's what warfarin is, to thin blood, but not vitamin D. And he kept arguing, and I was real respectful, but, I'm just getting so tired of all the misinformation. But he kept coming back, and he gave me a link, and I went to look at it. And, because he was saying that, vitamin D was the active ingredient in Decon rat killer. I'm like, yeah, wow, this is just getting crazy. But anyway, I went and looked, and you're not going to believe this. Decon did change their formula within the last year, and vitamin D is the only active ingredient in that product now. And it was such a big change and, such a big potential poison hotline thing that the company was offering webinars to physicians across the United States as part of their CE. And I'm thinking, how in the hell is vitamin D? Seems like that'd have to be a massive dose. And so I went and checked out a whole lot of stuff about it. And it doesn't damage your liver here. It actually damages your kidneys and some other stuff, and in a lot lower dose than what I remember and what I had learned. So then I thought, oh, well, wow, that's probably why they are, prescribing everybody vitamin D now. And there's been this huge push on every, YouTube channel, on the regular, medical infomercials and all this stuff. So now I'm not taking vitamin D because now I know, anything that's out there, of course, in mainstream media and anything on YouTube that YouTube is allowing to get all those views and all those subscribers, my suggestion is to do whatever is exactly opposite of whatever they're saying. Because even a lot of these physicians and speakers from places, that seem like they're in the know about what's really going on, and I'm talking about the bigger picture out there, what's really being done. No, they're just part of the deception. And I don't think a lot of people of us who really do know what's going on, I don't think they realize that. It's just all deception to keep everybody away from talking about or expending energy or forming groups to go combat what's really going on. Another big source of contention I have, frustration or just exhaustness, seeing all these videos out there from all these preppers. And a lot of these places have been prepping for the last, 6 to 8 years even. And they're, ultra stocked on, food and, guns and ammo and off-grid stuff. That's so cool. And I'm so jealous because all I want is just a damn shed and just a teeny piece of property to just be able to live or whatever. I don't know. But there's all these prepper channels. And of course, they're all at varying degrees of awokeness. And by the way, there are different groups of awoke people out there that have a different spirit guiding them. And you've got to know the difference and have some discernment. There are people who are like socially woke, but they're not promoting the right agenda, the righteous agenda, the way they're supposed to be going about things. They think they're entitled. They think it's all the critical race theory, the Black Lives Matters, I know you know what I'm talking about. So there's woke people, and then there are spiritually woke people. So one group is being woke by one power, and the spiritual people are being awoken by another power. So the people who are awake to all the worldly things that are going on, and they might be fully aware of vaccine agendas really are, what they're being used for, might be aware of all the things that they're putting in place, all the legislation they've changed to accommodate what they're going to be doing with the internment camps and just everything. But they have no understanding of the spiritual side of what's going on. And then you've got people that are awake, got supernaturally awoken, made the correct discernment about the call, and then really got loaded with some spiritual insight and know what's happening spiritually. You really don't want to be around just woke people through what's coming. But anyway, so what I'm seeing is a lot of prepper videos out there, and they give a lot of good ideas, but they truly don't know what's actually coming. So there are things they are not thinking about in thinking that they're prepared, that they are not prepared for on any level. For instance, it's not going to do anyone any good if they've got all the food in the world and, guns and ammo and they're off grid. There's a lot of people who think, first of all, well, I know they're tanking the economy. I know they're tanking businesses and all this, but, I'm going to be okay. I'm not going to have to go get a vaccine by working for someone. I'm just going to go for, work for my Uncle Joe off the clock and make some money to, feed the family or do whatever. No, you're not. For anyone who could see the agenda when they started giving away the $1 million a week lotteries for people to put this in their body, or big game tickets, or gambling trips to Vegas, well, you ain't seen nothing yet, because what they're going to do when all of this is getting in place, they're going to be offering people a lot of money to turn other people in. The people who aren't getting the vaccine, who are the public health risk to everyone else. And nobody else is going to see anything wrong with that. Not only are they going to be offering money, and they'll award it to people anonymously for turning you in if you're hiding and you're not in compliance, they're also going to make punitive damages and jail time for anyone who is vaccinated and has a card to harbor or assist these fugitives who are public health threats. Again, anonymously. you better figure out quickly who you can trust and who you can't with your life, because people will be turning each other in for money. When they tank the economy, there's going to be a one world currency, and it will absolutely be digital currency. All the news media in the beginning a few years ago, when, Bitcoin and, all their cryptocurrencies, all the news stories were, we don't want that. And people were saying, it can't be regulated. It's too safe. It'd put too much power in the people's hands. So, you better learn about this and you better do it. Again, do exactly opposite of whatever the media is saying or leading people to believe, because the cryptocurrency is exactly what the government wants, because that's what they will be using. And not enough people have been, getting into it, or it's too hard for them to learn. So what are they doing now to be sure that people are going to get up to speed with this and get on board? Platforms like Coinbase, they're now paying people in cryptocurrency coins to take, webinars and learn about cryptocurrency. This is exactly what the government wants, because that's going to be the new world economy. So everybody is going to get a digital card that's going to have all their health information, their social credit score, yes, just like China. It's going to be hooked to your bank account, and they'll be able to give and take money, regulate your account. You'll need it to buy or sell anything. Your Uncle Joe isn't going to have any money to give you to do side jobs, because it's going to be crypto and it'll be controlled. The other thing about crypto, it's so funny to me, especially with people that have been through the ME and really know what reality is, and really truly know, just as the Bible states, Satan really is the prince of the air, prince of the airwaves. And everybody who thinks crypto is so secure and it's for the people, man, you are clueless. We have D-Wave computers everywhere, artificial intelligence who can, complete calculations that would have taken 1 billion years in, 5 seconds. And you think your blockchain password and seed recovery shit's going to be secure? You are absolutely ignorant. Stay away from cryptocurrency. Don't promote it. Don't have anything to do with it. You're going to lose all your money. Now, they're going to, just like they did last December, January, and 2 years ago, January, December, where they themselves had put the big price spike and, a few people made a lot of money. They're going to do whatever they can to get people interested in it. So just be warned. So you won't be able to work for your Uncle Joe. The other thing all these preppers aren't thinking about, the one place, once the cards are in place, and you're not going to be able to renew your driver's license anymore or your tags anymore, so you're not going to be driving. Oh, okay, no problem. I'll just stay on my land. Okay, that's great. But what's the one thing you're always missing? The good old statement, remember, nothing's sure but death and taxes. You're still going to have to pay your property taxes. And they're not going to take cash. There's not going to be cash. You're going to have to pay with your digital card. And if you're not going to get a vaccine, you're not going to have a digital card. And if you don't pay your taxes, they will take your land away. Fact. So, just a suggestion for the people who are spiritually awoken and are being called to prepare and prep and, to be able to serve their brothers and sisters, just like Joseph in the Bible. If you have any family members at all that were unfortunate enough to receive the jab, not knowing, not believing, and got it, and you trust those family members completely with your life, what I suggest is, if either they have a sizable piece of land that's unrestricted somewhere and they're living on it, or if you can get any piece of unrestricted land to live on, put your stored stuff on, have your property put the deed put in their name, because they've had the jab. They'll be able to get a card. They'll be able to pay the taxes on the property, and you live there. But do not have your mail go there. Do not have utilities hooked in your name. Have your mail go to whatever your closest relative is that you trust completely. Otherwise, nothing of what I'm saying holds true. And then just go pick up your mail, or have them forward any mail that's coming to you at their address, their other address, address it to themselves, and send it to the piece of property where you're at. You're not going to be able to have property in your name because you're not going to be able to pay the taxes, and it will get taken away. Anyway, I just wanted to give an update because, like I said, I feel bad that a few people have contacted me and I've not been able to respond, but I'm not doing too good. And I did finally decide a couple months ago, I didn't say anything, but I did decide a couple months ago on my channel page, where it says playlists, videos, information, or community, and about. Under the About tab, I did put a couple like PayPal or Venmo type links. If there is anybody, I know we're all going through the same things, and everybody's being tested to the extreme and, just not doing that good. But if anybody at all can help in any way, by sending, 10 or 20 bucks, it doesn't matter, just to help me be able to get my stuff. I don't even know what I'm going to do. I don't know if I can, I don't know, but I got to get my stuff out of storage and into a shed or something, and I got to do something. Like I've tried. Yesterday I went online again, and I'm looking at, okay, what can I do here? Because I'm not the same person, and I know what I'm supposed to do, and I know what I'm supposed to be saying, and it's a lot of work to get it together, and I'm like just being beat. It's just so hard. So I'm gonna try to look for an online job that's like maybe part-time, anything that I can do for some income at least. I did call my student loan vendor, and finally I didn't want to, obviously, because the interest compound accrual is just gonna freaking whatever, but I had to tell them I'm not working so that they can stop my payments for a while. I just if just anybody is in a position where they can help donate anything at all, like anything financially, please just know I would so be appreciative, because this is really getting hard. And I know we're all in different parts of figuring stuff out, and but it's gonna get a lot harder. It's gonna get a lot harder, and I don't want to be around people anymore. I know we're not supposed to be complaining and want to go home, and just dealing with the people here is just the worst. Even when I got back from Tennessee the other day, yesterday, I don't know, day before, you would think that the people that I've talked the most to and tried so hard to wake up for years, my ex-husband, my children, you would think after telling them what's going to happen 6 months, a year before it happens, and it keeps happening, you would really think they would start to get it. Yesterday, went to see my daughter and her little boy, and my ex was like, well, I think your first focus should be getting a job. Why don't you, if you don't want to be a pharmacist, why don't you just, call your old company and, see if you can work as a pharmacy technician? And he keeps talking. I haven't replied yet. He's like, would you be able to work overtime? Can you just work overtime hours? I walked out the door, didn't say a word, because I know it's pointless to say a single thing. Got a call from a few hours later. I said, Steve, I said, let me just ask you something. All these like abortion doctors that are out there and, they're killing all these babies. I'm like, how do you think God feels about that? Well, of course, I'm sure he's not happy about that. I said, okay. I said, so how do you think God is going to not just view that abortion doctor, but how about all those technicians that are in there? They're not the ones performing the abortions, but, they're standing there assisting the doctor. They're not saying a word to the patients. They're just, they're working overtime even. They're just doing all this. I said, so if you understand that's wrong, and you know why I quit being a pharmacist, because I refuse to kill people, then why would you ask if I can just go in there as a technician and just assist the pharmacist and not say a word and warn the people? I said, you know what? You do not understand the difference between right and wrong. You don't understand the difference between right and wrong. You're not going to be able to worship on your own terms, your own understanding, because if you're worshiping on your own terms, you're not honoring God. God demands what he wants, how he wants to be worshiped. And if you can't even see the difference between right and wrong, especially for me, who's been sitting here yelling at you for 6 years about what's going on, about what's truly going on right now. It's too frustrating for me. I don't even want to be around people. I mean, I'm grateful. I'm grateful for being awake. Like, of anything, I'm so grateful to God for just being awake. But it's just really hard. So if anybody can help at all, just know I would really, really appreciate it. And I'm going to be trying really hard to get the stuff together for the videos, talking about this stuff that I know I should be talking about and sharing with everyone. Just know I'm trying. And, I'll address some of the stuff later. Some of the people, that thought maybe I didn't respond because I don't agree with them, like Mandela affected, and I forget what her male friend's name is. There's just a lot of stuff that we all don't know, and it would just make it a lot easier if I could just get the energy and the motivation to be able to do it. Anyway, I'm sorry. I'll try to catch up with everybody soon. I hope everyone's doing okay. Remember to pray for the kids. And don't stop talking to people. I talk to every stranger I see, and tell them what's really going on, and tell them don't take it, or any boosters, or any annual, or any testing, or nothing. Don't just try to get spiritually prepared. All right, I'll talk to everybody, I hope soon. Thanks so much. Love you guys. Bye.